Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my August wrap up. I know I'm a little bit late with it. I was on vacation and just was super busy when I got back and haven't had time to film this video yet, but we were finally sitting down and filming it. August was not the best reading month for me as far as the number of books goes. I had 2 different vacations this month and just really didn't have a ton of reading time. So I only ended up reading 8 books, which I know is still a lot of books and it's still really good. But for me, I feel like a lot of this year I've been reading like 9 or 10 books a month, sometimes even more. But I feel like August, I just didn't read as much, but I'm still very happy with the amount of books I read. So we're just gonna go right into it. All of the books that I read this month, I read on my Kindle actually. They're all Kindle Unlimited. Mostly I read from a series, so pretty much every book I'm going to be talking about is from one specific series slash the like spin-off series of it. And then I had one other book. So these were all romances, I believe, this month, and pretty much all sports romances as well. So if you can guess the series, you probably know, or if you've heard me talk about it. But yeah, let's just get straight into the books that I read. So the first book I read is The Score by Elle Kennedy. This is the 3rd book in the Off Campus series, and this is the series that I pretty much read from the entire month, as well as the spin-off of the Briar U series. This has been a series that I've heard about for literally so long, and I felt so behind and like out of the loop, and I wanted to read it, and I was really just like in my sports romance era, so read pretty much exclusively that this month. So first book was The Score, and I gave that one 4 stars. This one is about Allie and Dean, and Allie just broke up with her really shitty boyfriend. She is best friends with Hannah from one of the first books, and Hannah is dating Garrett. And Dean is Garrett's roommate. He's known as like the playboy on campus. He just sleeps with a bunch of girls, doesn't get into relationships. And one night she's in her like rebound after her breakup, and she ends up sleeping with him. And then he is like, wants her so bad. Like really wants to be with her, but she's like, no, I can't do this. Like, I'm about to graduate. She needs to focus on graduation. She's trying to become an actress, so she's like trying to focus on that. I didn't love Dean at first just because he's such like a player, but then you start to see this like softer, sweeter side of him, and he like clearly really loves Allie, and he was like trying so hard to get her to even just go on like one date with him. And I also really loved how Dean was there for her. Like, this thing happened with her ex, and he was like 100% there for her even when they weren't even technically really dating, and it was just very sweet. He became very sweet, even though at the beginning I was like, oh, he's such a player, like I didn't like him. Next up we have The Goal by Elle Kennedy. So this is the 4th book in the Off Campus series. Technically the final book. Last book is like an extended epilogue about each couple. So this is the last book about a new couple, and it's Sabrina and Tucker. Sabrina's like working her way through school. She's trying to go to law school. She comes from kind of a bad family background, and her and Tucker hook up one night, and then she gets pregnant. And so now she's trying to like figure out how she's gonna go to law school and raise this kid, but she doesn't want to be in a relationship with Tucker, even though he like very much wants to be with her. I don't normally love accidental pregnancy, or I don't know, I have like mixed feelings about it. I feel like it was actually done really well in this book, and I really enjoyed both Sabrina and Tucker. The reason I gave this one 3.5 stars was definitely look up trigger warnings. There is a lot of like dark past, especially from Sabrina's side, and sometimes I feel like it was a bit much for me. So there were parts that I didn't love because of that, but I still enjoyed their story and their romance. But yeah, definitely check trigger warnings on this one, because there's kind of some like deep, darker topics discussed for sure. So then I jumped into the Briar U series instead of going into the extended epilogue of the Off Campus series, because I heard that you're supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to read the first 4 of Off Campus, then read the 4 Briar U books, then read The Legacy, which is like the last like wrap up book, just because some characters from Briar U do end up showing up in there, so that way you can know all of their stories first. So next was The Chase. So the Briar U series still takes place on the same campus, but all of the characters are like a few years younger than the main off-campus characters. But you still see the off-campus characters show up, especially in this one, because this is Dean's little sister, Summer, and she had gotten kicked out of Brown University, and so now she is at Briar U, and she ends up living with some of the hockey players because that's the only place that she can live. And she likes one of her roommates, but then also likes the other one. It's kind of this weird sort of love triangle thing. And then also Fitz, who is like the male main character, is such a player and such a fuckboy, and I hated him so much. Like, I did not like him at all, and I really wasn't rooting for them to be together. I really enjoyed Summer's character. She has a very bold personality. She is very like, she knows what she wants, and I feel like he was just playing her the whole time, and I literally did not like him at all, and he was kind of insufferable. So I gave this one 2.5 stars. Next up was The Risk. So this is the second book in the Briar U series, and this is about Brenna. She is the daughter of the hockey coach for Briar U, and the main male character is Jake, and he goes to the rival school and is the, I think he's the captain of their hockey team. So it's kind of this like forbidden, like her dad doesn't want her to be with him because he's on the like rival team and her dad's the coach. And I just really enjoyed this one a lot. I loved Brenna. Her character was so much fun. Also, the way that the two of them kind of meet is Brenna's dating a different hockey player, dating loosely, a different hockey player, and Jake is like, you can't distract my players, like, you know, I'm forbidding you from seeing them. And she's like, you can't forbid me from doing anything. And so they kind of start their relationship with this like tension, I guess, between them and like banter a little bit. And I just really enjoyed them. The forbiddenness and kind of like trying to keep their relationship was a secret, I really enjoyed as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed these characters. I gave this one 4 stars. Next up, we have The Play, and this is about Demi and Hunter. Hunter is the captain of the hockey team, and he's decided he's not having any sort of relationships this year. He wants to focus solely on hockey, and him and Demi get paired together for a school project. She has a boyfriend, so he's like perfect, you know, he's not like tempted or anything. And then she breaks up with her boyfriend, and now he's like starts to realize that he has feelings for her. But I really loved this one because they started as friends first, and they genuinely had such good banter and were like really getting to know each other. And then something happens with Demi and her ex-boyfriend, and he's just like really supportive as a friend. And I just really loved that. I love when couples are friends first. I hate like insta-lovey or like immediately they have feelings for each other. I like that they like formed this friendship first before anything happened between them. And I just really enjoyed their story, so I gave that one 4 stars. Then we have The Dare, and this is about Taylor and Connor. Connor is on the hockey team and he's at a party, and Taylor is dared to go up to him and ask for his number and like pretend that she sleeps with him basically. She doesn't want to, but she just like wants to get her friends off of her back. So she like tells him, she's like, can you just pretend that we hooked up, whatever. And then the two of them kind of form this friendship. I would have liked this one so much more if there was not so much miscommunication. The miscommunication trope in this one happened 2 separate times, and it just frustrated me to no end. Like, I was so annoyed. I loved the characters, but because of the miscommunication, I gave this one 3 stars because I just could not deal with it. Like, it was frustrating me to no end, and I was just so annoyed. Then I read The Legacy, which is wrap up 4 novellas about the 4 main couples from off campus, and I gave this one 3.5 stars. They were all very short novellas. Nothing like major happened. Or I guess, I don't know, some major stuff happened, but it wasn't anything like groundbreaking, I guess. I don't know. And there was just a lot of miscommunication trope between all of them. And again, that just like really annoyed me. It was nice to see the characters, the banter, them having, you know, fun and seeing each other like after they've graduated college and everything. But there was a lot of it where I was just kind of bored. And I think at that point I was starting to get a little burnt out from these characters and this storyline. So I think at that point I was just kind of ready for it to be done. And lastly, I read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. So this is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaires series. I've been wanting to get into Lauren Asher's books, and I kind of wanted to start with the Dreamland Billionaires just because I know that some of her other series take place in like similar areas. So I wanted to make sure that I read this series first, and I've heard really good things about it, obviously. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't love the first book. The premise of the Dreamland Billionaire series is basically there's these three brothers and their grandfather opened and started Dreamland, which think Disney World. It's essentially Disney World. And he died and he wrote them each a letter. And in the letter, they have to do something in order to get their inheritance. So for this first book, it's Rowan, and Rowan has to come up with a new idea or a new invention for the park. It can kind of be anything, and then there's going to be a board of people that are going to vote on it, and if they approve it, he gets his inheritance. So that's kind of his premise, what he's doing. Then you have Zara, who is working at one of the hair salons inside of Dreamland, and she submits like a suggestion and ends up getting promoted to be a creator. So now she's working beside Rowan as he's working on this project, trying to come up with a new idea. And he is like the epitome of grumpy, doesn't want a relationship, is like so turned off from all of that. And I feel like those types of main male characters can be very polarizing and can tend to go very south for me very quickly. Like there's some times where the grumpy character, you know, he gets over it, but I feel like this book, he was so grumpy and annoying the whole time. And then even when he kept fucking up and Zara would just like take him back, it was frustrating me so much. I feel like the story was interesting and I enjoyed certain elements of the story, but I just did not feel connected to them. Like he was just annoying me. I will say the other thing is I was reading this in very weird increments. I read this while I was on vacation, so I'd read it for maybe like 15 minutes before bed or like a little bit when we were on the train, but I wasn't sitting down and reading for large chunks. So that could be part of the reason I just felt kind of removed from the story and I didn't feel like I was super immersed in it. But I don't know, I just like did not like his character. Really loved Zara, she was great. But Rowan, just like even at the end, like his redemption arc, for me personally, I did not feel it. And so for that reason, I gave it 3 stars. I do want to continue the rest of the series. I'm interested to see the other two brothers' stories. And I really enjoyed Lauren Asher's writing and her writing style. I just did not like Rowan as a main character. So that is all for my August wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was definitely a very romance heavy month. I just knew I was gonna be traveling a lot and those are just easy books to read. Also, like I said, I read every book on my Kindle. These were all on Kindle Unlimited. So it was just very easy with traveling and all of that. But it is now officially fall, or at least in my mind, September is fall. So I'm really excited to start branching out a little bit more. I feel like fall is when I start to read more mysteries, thrillers, just general fiction. So I am very excited for all the books I have upcoming. I'm also very excited for all the videos that I have upcoming. I have planned out so many fun videos. So if you want to see what videos I have coming up, make sure to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for my inconsistencies in posting recently. Like I said, I went on 2 vacations last month, so it was kind of crazy month, but I promise I'm looking forward to being back on track, posting more. And yeah, so thank you guys so much. I will see you in my next video.